evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neil Isaac, and this is Podcast for Life. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Isaac, and this is Podcast for Life. And this week we will be talking about positivity. How to be more positive in your day to day life. What does it mean to be more positive in your day to day life? Where does positivity come from? These are some of the questions that we will be exploring today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're still looking for sponsors for Podcast for Life. We will be continuing podcast. If you are on getvocal.com, you've subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much for your support. I look forward to seeing you online as we broadcast. Many of you have noticed that I've kind of let the scheduling go a little bit. And this week, we didn't get the word out like we should have. Um, Basically, I have to take the blame for that because I haven't been so as diligent as I need to be as far as scheduling. We've had some technical difficulties. We've had some things that have needed my attention, and quite frankly, I've gotten behind on my work. Um, what I have to do is I have to put the priority on feeding my family first. And although this is a labor of love, I don't get paid for it. So it does have to be a lower priority for me. Um, but I have made a commitment to all of you out there to be on here every week that I can. And I'm sorry I missed a few. Um, but we're going to catch it all up. Yeah, we're going to be here hopefully for a long time. But I do need to let you all know about a few things of what's been going on, some of the challenges that I've been facing regarding Podcast for Life. When Podcast for Life, I lumped all of my life into it, whether it was political or not. And then after the 2020 elections came in and the cancel culture and Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter all went crazy and they want to delete everything, they want to censor everything uh, that doesn't fit their narrative, doesn't fit their worldview, doesn't fit what they want reality to be. Whether it's true or not, that's beside the point. They want to get rid of it, delete it, deny it exists. So with that, I made the decision to take the politics off of uh, Podcast for Life and concentrate Podcast for Life on giving encouragement and support to all who will. Um, I'm still a peer support specialist. I'm still working, and that has to take priority. After all, I do need to feed my family. But the thing is Facebook, Twitter, uh, YouTube, and Instagram have all been giving me many challenges. Because of my previous political activity, I'm still apparently on some sort of watch list. They don't care what I'm doing now. All they care about is what I did then. So therefore, they're still scanning over all of my episodes. They don't necessarily want to put out all my episodes. And the thing is much of the time, if I say one word out of the way or one word that they don't agree with, they want to delete the episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry if episodes are missing uh, or appear not to have been done. You could probably blame Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter for much of that. For they may have deleted it, denying it exists, or otherwise taken some punitive action against me personally. And yes, they are taking action against me personally. And I have been receiving threats. I have been receiving all kinds of warnings. I don't like them any more than anybody else does. But the thing is what is the most that they can do to me is they can delete me. And if that happens, Podcast for Life will no longer be uh, on the air on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But until that happens, and I'm working with Get Vocal to try to augment our reach, to try to get new platforms signed up and get access to them. And as we do get new platforms signed up and access to them, I'll definitely let you all know where that will be. But I just want to let you know that because of the controversy or controversies, that I may not be as dependable as I would like to be. And it's through no fault of my own. It is only through the fault of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. And by the way, they're all owned by Facebook. That's Facebook's happy family. Now, with that being said, and that being out of the way, on to our program. Podcast for Life is still looking for sponsors. We're willing to sell some advertising, but we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for people to donate to the cause. If you're on Get Vocal, you got VCoin, please be generous with that. Um, if you're viewing us on YouTube uh, or Facebook, please consider sending a gift. My address is P.O. Box 180 or 281, P.O. Box 281, Barberville, Kentucky 40906. Mark it in the memo, Podcast for Life, and I'll know what it's for, and I'll make sure that the bills here do get paid. If you're wanting to talk about advertising on Podcast for Life, please send me an email at daniel.essek, DANIEL ESSEK at outlook.com, and I will be sure to get back to you just as soon as I can. Market Podcast for Life sponsorship, and I will make sure that is one of the first ones that I open when I see it. So, so this week we're going to be talking about positivity. What is positivity? Basically, it's the ability for one to have a positive outlook on life, to think the best of things, to view the glass as half full rather than half empty. Those of us who suffer from mental illness know full well that how elusive positivity is. When we have our breakdown, everything is negative. Everything has been negative generally for a long time, and we have succumbed to the negativity, and it has changed our way of thinking. Negativity comes from many sources. It comes from bad luck, it comes from other people, it comes from other things, it comes from stress. It's one of the signs. Being more negative is one of the signs of exhaustion. Forgive me, people. Being negative is one of the signs of exhaustion, and it grows and develops and becomes overwhelming. And as it becomes overwhelming, it begins to consume our thoughts more and more and more. We could start off being a fairly positive person, but as negative events happen, people dying, people being hurt in front of us, ourselves being hurt emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, our not understanding of our perceptions that promotes negativity. Because what happens is you get so steeped in reality, and reality is perceived to be so negative that it overwhelms the positive. Now we choose to be positive and we choose to be negative. But the thing is when all you look around and all you see is the negative, is the evil, is everything that's not right in the world. It's hard to be positive. And when you're exposed to it long enough, hard enough, you do succumb to it. It's just like the boxer in the prize fight. Yeah, he might not fall down on the first or second punch, but as the fight goes on, he gets more tired, exhausted. The punches seem harder, able to shake it off less and less. After a while, it becomes a cumulative effect. And then as one fighter has the has a hand up over the other one, and he just drills that injury, that trauma, and drills it and drills it, and keeps working it, making it bigger, making it weaker. You know, then the one suffering the blows ends up succumbing to it. That is how negativity works. That's how it grows. That's how it becomes a big part of our life. And that's how it gets to the point where we have a breakdown. Breakdowns happen, relapse happens. But the thing is when relapse happens, you try to get your help. And that should be the first success that you have, getting the help. I always pray. And whenever anybody relapses, that they don't fall into the suicide. Although many people survive suicides, many people die from suicide. 1 in 5 people suffer from mental illness. 1 in 10 of those people commit suicide or attempt it. There is no greater evil in the world, in my opinion, than the mindset that drives you to take your own life. Your mind is, when that happens, your mind is consumed with all the negativity in the world. And you have no room for anything positive to come in. And you can't find the positive. And unless you try to find the hope of the positive in somebody else, and they can get that spark of hope and fan the flame to make it a bright spark. That is the only way to get the hope, is to have some help. So if you're feeling down on yourself and you're even entertaining thoughts of suicide, do yourself a favor, do me a favor. Seek help before it's too late. Seek help before it's too late. Get an evaluation, mental health evaluation, to see, is it depression? Is it something else? Is it, uh, there's a reason you're thinking the way you're thinking. There's a reason you're thinking so so negatively, that you're considering taking your life. And for serious mental illness, therapy and medication have shown to be effective. I know it's hard to believe right now, but healing is there for you. You just need help to find it. So, how do we take negative Nancy and turn them into positive Pete? Simple. It's just like any other habit. Practice, practice, practice. When you're used to looking at the glass as half empty, looking and seeing, hey, yeah, there's something there, but look at all the nothingness that's there. And there's nothing there for me. There's something there for you. You're just not seeing it. So what we need to do is we need to show you what's there for you. We take the negative statements. Well, I'm not feeling good today. Oh, I'm so lost. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself today. And then we turn that on its head, turn into more positive statements. I'm lost. Well, what's it going to take to find myself, to find where I'm at? Let's take a look at where I'm at, what I'm doing. Sounds like a lot of work. It is. Sounds like it takes a lot of time. It does. Like I said, just like any other habit. And you don't always see it transition. Very rarely is transition so quick that you can see it. and to deal with it for about an hour. Actually, it takes many hours to make some progress, but to deal with it for about an hour, I need to exaggerate the progress a little bit. Many of my clients that I work with who suffer from clinical depression and other maladies, who are suicidal, actively or a history of it takes time. The first things that we work on is what are the physical needs? Are they getting regular food? They got clothing enough? Have they got shelter? Once those basic needs are met, now we can start looking into the more esoteric. They're not happy. Why are they not happy? They're negative. Well, okay, the heck with why they're negative. Let's look at how we can turn that negativity into positive. It is just a change in mindset. Others, they have to be shown what's in it for them because they're willing to admit there's something there, but it's not for them. There's something in life for everybody. First, you have to be shown how it relates to you. But then you have to decide that you want it. And to make that decision, sometimes days, weeks, even months, in some cases, years. Most people, even when they have a warped mind, can come back to their senses, at least briefly. And those are the times that progress is made. And ideally, these times of lucidity, if it's encouraged, supported in the proper way, will get longer. And the other times, the times that they're warped, should grow shorter. I don't like talking about people's weaknesses. I'd much rather talk to them about their strengths. Peer support is about strengths. It's about making people stronger. It's about showing them how strong they really are. It takes a lot of strength to get through life. It takes quite a bit to live, to make the decision to live. Much of it is instinctual. It is all given by God. But the desire to live, for the most part, is instinctual. But it's also a decision. Yes, there are some people who are actively suicidal. Not everyone is successful on the first attempt. At the first attempt, they're successful in hurting themselves. And it calls attention to them. I myself have attempted at the point of a shotgun. You'd swear doing that I would have been a goner, but my dog intervened as I pulled the trigger. My wife at the time thought sure I was dead because she knew me and she knew what I was going through and she knew what had happened. She also knew why I snapped. What she didn't know is what happened. As I pulled the trigger, the dog came out of nowhere, jumped me, pushed me out of the way. From the time I squeezed that trigger and the round went off, that dog flattened me on the ground and it missed. Clean miss. I thought sure it would only take the one round, so I didn't take any other ammo with me. But if I did, it would not have afforded me the opportunity to think. I had to get up and go get another round if I wanted to try it again. And that time it got me to thinking. Instinct had kicked in. Okay, I'm not dead. Do I really want to die? The instinct is to live. I wasn't happy about it. I didn't expect anybody to understand. But that was the beginning of me getting my help. Sheriff met me at the door. We had a little chat. He got me to the hospital. I stayed there getting therapy for a couple of weeks. Got on medication regimen. Then when I was released from the hospital, I went home. I was hooked up with services locally. And I've kept with the program. Worked out my demons. I was so negative in the beginning. Nothing could go right. Nothing could be right. But the thing is, I learned how to become more positive. Now I can teach others how to be more positive, to get out of the dangers of the clutches of suicide, to be at one with nature and nature's God. There are a great many blessings with learning positivity, and we can't even begin to cover those within the time that we have today. But the time that we have today is pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the time that we spent together today. I do want you all to take care of each other, to be with each other, to love each other, to be at one with each other and be one with yourself. Show a little understanding to your fellow human beings and a little bit of respect. You'd be surprised as to how much a little respect, how far that goes. They say a little respect goes a long way. Try it sometime. See how far it really goes. It may surprise you. Until next week, This is Daniel Lessig, and this is Podcast for Life. Thank you.